mother, and the two of them got married. Her name is Simmerois. He got with her, and they got married. Nimrod and Simmerois got married, came together, formulate a union together, got married. Watch this. And the pagans then dubbed them and began to call them Isis and Orsis. Let me give you some contemporary FYI, let me give you some contemporary news. There's a lot of lyrics, watch this, that is laced with allegiance to Isis. My former favorite rapper, Jay-Z, a lot of what he said is in worship to Isis. Somebody in here to hear. Well, and so what happened is they had an allegiance, and the pagans began to call the two of them Isis and Orsis. And what happened is the mother and son came together, slept together, and gave birth. They gave birth. They had children together, and the act, not the children, but the act of them coming together in sexual intercourse was the beginning of their worship. That was the beginning of their worship. It was an act of the mother and son coming together. And what would happen in their worship is, and we're going to look at that in a few minutes, what would happen is they would go to the temple of God and have orgies in God's temple.
Wow. That's the word. That's the word.
I'm trying to pace myself. They would have orgies in God's temple. And what would happen is they would stand at the entrance of the door. They would have the high priest on the pulpit. And at the entrance of the door, they would have orgies. Watch this. Mothers with sons and brothers with sisters having orgies at the entrance of the door before they entered into his presence, standing at the entrance of the door, which was a direct attack against the word of God. Because what they were doing by having orgies at the entrance of the door was trying to combat the word of God, when God said, enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. What they were saying is, when I enter, I am entering in, not with praise to God, but sexual desire and perversion on my mind. Let's fast forward to 2012. There are people, when they come to church, they are not coming to worship God, but there are all sorts of sexual promiscuous thoughts that is on their mind. They don't walk in to bless God. They walk in with filthy thoughts on their mind. Can I tell you something? That's why sometimes church atmosphere is so heavy, because you come to pray God, but your neighbor comes to pray the God of Baal. You come to worship God, and your neighbor comes to worship the flesh. You come to give God the glory, and your neighbor has all sorts of sexual, nasty, filthy thoughts on their mind. And you're thinking, why is it so heavy in here? It is heavy because your worship is working in overdrive. Because instead of coming together as iron sharpening iron, instead of coming together